and welcome to the Mighty Fish Podcast.
How you guys doing? It's been a while.
This is episode numero 15 for the week of February 27th, 2017. We're in a new year. This unofficial podcast, we're going to talk about whatever, but unofficially, this is going to be us wrapping up 2016.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
and every podcast from here on, we might talk about ones we've missed in this episode, but from here on out, looking towards the future, have a lot on the way. We're finally getting back into our rhythm. So we're trying to wrap up.
Thank you for being patient with us.
Yeah, if we just go on, if we just start doing what we do, people will be like, what about this movie?
Yeah.
So we're going to try to get most of them out of the way. Well, there's actually quite a bit we're going to be talking about.
We've seen quite a few, yeah.
Since Rogue One, which would have been the last episode, yeah, there's been a bit. So
yeah, you saw one without me.
And I guess we'll go into that first. Okay. Yeah. So we'll start in November. And I'm going to talk about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them.
Yeah.
The first standalone of the Harry Potter universe.
You did not care for it, from what I remember you telling me.
Here's the thing.
And I know you're in a minority on that.
Yes. No, and that was odd to me. I went into it being like, I almost went into the movie, I seriously went into it like, all right, I'm going to enjoy this. I didn't think I was going to be blown away because everybody was just like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. I fucking left that movie like, what a piece of crap.
What a piece of crap, yeah.
So, my main...
Because I really wanted to see it.
This isn't based...
To it.
Yeah, and you might like it more than I do. And because clearly others like it more than I do.
Well, and I'm also a very mild Harry Potter fan.
Exactly, but this isn't based on any pre-existing source material.
Yeah, this isn't.
This is just the first standalone screenplay that J.K. Rowling wrote. It was directed by David Yates, so same guy. Here's the problem with this movie. It is setting up a world for more movies. Which is cool. Everybody loves more movies.
Yeah.
But it didn't...
We love sequels.
Yeah. It didn't take time to tell this story. Or to make me care about this story.
Yeah.
It was heavily reliant on being a big Harry Potter nerd and knowing who the main villain was. It set up its main villain in a fucking... magical newspaper montage.
So like what kind of montage?
The movie starts.
Are you talking like the old school?
So you know the old school Citizen Kane.
Like the newspaper swirls at the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
The next one pops up.
Yeah,
and there's all these. Yeah.
You know the trope they did in.
They did it in Captain America,
and they did it in the original Spider-Man.
Back in the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The Daily Bugle and all that. So
they did that, but it's magical. So there's moving pictures, and what have you.
Moving pictures and moving pictures.
Exactly, moving pictures and the moving pictures. So
it's set during that time period too.
Yeah, so
they're making movie magic, Ryan.
So we're setting the time period, and we're setting up a villain. Voldemort is not around at this time. So who's the Dark Wizard of the time? Big Harry Potter fans would know that Dumbledore defeated the Dark Wizard, who was the big problem at the time. His name was...
Were you going to say Harry Potter?
Harry Potter, more like. His name was Grindelwald, right? So it's a paper montage of Grindelwald is causing a muck.
Yeah.
Running amok, as it were. And fucking the magical world. And then we just cut to... Eddie Redmayne coming into fucking America, and that's the last we hear about Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Then his story starts playing through. It's kind of boring. Dan Fogler is awesome.
Well, he's awesome at everything, dude.
And everything.
That's my boy Hutch.
The Hutch touch.
He puts the Hutch touch in everything he does, dude.
So...
Fanboys, if anybody's seen Fanboys, We should talk about
We
fanboys
should talk
one
about
day.
fanboys. We should just talk about that instead. So
I love fanboys.
we get his story. He's in America, and it's because he wants to learn about magical creatures or whatever. He has a hidden agenda. That's fine. Then we find out that shit's uneasy. People are not liking the wizards, even though they don't know they really exist, which is confusing. And then there's a bad aura.
Well,
He's a mean guy.
But
But guess what? He does his hair exactly like Grindelwald. It's because he's Grindelwald.
that goddamn heater.
It's a menace wherever we are.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. We're coming to you live from the garage.
Basically, the main fucking villain, I'll make it short and sweet. The main villain is completely reliant on you knowing Harry Potter lore pretty well.
Yeah.
They don't set him up great if this is the first movie you've seen, which is an issue. And the main character is terribly boring.
Sounds kind of reminiscent of another movie.
We talked about recently, which had way too many villains. At least this one stuck to one.
Another Dark Lord that wasn't
Yeah.
really given the due he was
And
due.
it was fun and it was magical, and then it was over, and it basically did nothing besides set up more movies that seem like they'll be a lot of fun now that they've set up the world.
Well, it was interesting when you were telling me about this hate for wizards and the wizards' hate for the humans and stuff, because it sounded almost like she just was like she read an X-Men comic for the first time ever and was just like, oh,
So basically,
these
there are people who are called New Salemers, and they're basically crazy people on the street talking about witches and wizards, and they're Christian haters and blah 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 blah. And it's like, so they're crazy religious people,
Yeah.
but also wizards really exist. But to the normal world, they would just think these people are crazy.
Yeah.
But then they talk about how the world will reject them if they find out that there's actually wizards, and that's the main ruse of Colin Farrell's character, who ends up being Grindelwald. Spoilers. It's foreshadowed in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
you're wanton, just like I don't care.
I don't care. And that's an interesting angle, but they don't set it up. There is no legitimate tension. It's just crazy people that normal people would think were crazy that he uses as a tool to further his agenda.
So it's not like in the Harry Potter main stories where it's this whole you get to experience this whole crazy magic world where we know they exist. And
If
they
you
do
listen-
their thing and we do our thing.
If you listen to like the first couple chapters on audiobook of the original Harry Potter saga, I guess you would call it, Jim Dale, who did the narration, the famous narration for those audiobooks, the reasoning they give why they're in hiding, why they're underground, is they would just bother us with all their problems. We would basically just be made to solve all the Muggles' problems. And that's why they stay hidden. Just out of convenience, it's better for everybody.
That's interesting.
And then in this one, all of a sudden it's like, no, because there'll be a war and they hate people. And it's like, there's this American narrative, I guess. Like, that's how American Muggles, no mages, would act. But they never show that.
Huh.
Then all of a sudden that's a big deal.
So
and
they
then it's like,
tell-
oh wait, it's not really a big deal. It's because he's evil. And then it was over. And it was fun. But it was terrible. So like I can talk at length about most Harry Potter shit.
Yeah.
This movie
You have.
This movie is so wait for the next one that it's
Well,
so
I feel like that's
boring.
but I feel like that's the status quo these days, dude. It's just like, oh, are you intrigued? You know, it's just every movie that comes out now is like hoping to make a serial.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's they're all trying to do that Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring thing where ending, it's just like you get this whole story, and then at the end you're left with this huge open end because like you're gonna come see the second one now because you have to. It's I feel like The Matrix set up its end very well, where it was open ended. But if you didn't want, because like I know you didn't see the following two Matrix films.
No.
You could see the rest of the movies if you wanted to, or you could just leave it at The Matrix because he takes off into the air. You know.
See, but there's a good way to do it, and there's a bad way.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is the first Matrix movie leaves it possibly open for the rest of the movies. Back to the Future 1 does it as well.
Yeah.
Where,
but that was not meant to be.
No, there was never supposed to be a Back to the Future 2 or Back to the Future.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a good way to do knowing it's going to be more stories, and there's a bad way. This is the bad way. A good way would be like Lord of the Rings. And people who didn't know Lord of the Rings was a 3-part thing came out of the first movie like,
well, what the hell?
Well, what the hell?
Yeah.
And that's not what I got from this movie. It's not wanting to know more. It was just going... It was just like this story was back burner to setting up more movies.
It was an origin story.
If it had just ended with like, what the fuck? That's like, I need to see more.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. The story was told, but it was lackluster.
It's Stranger Things. Ends very well. Mm-hmm.
But yet...
2 coming out.
I was going to say, but yet, number 2, I'm like, holy shit, what's that gigantic thing in the sky?
Yeah.
And fucking...
No, that teaser was super cool.
Speaking
of which, Stranger Things 2 hype.
Whoa! Let's speculate endlessly!
No, I like that, but to shift topics real quick, Stranger Things 2. I like that it's Stranger Things 2. It's not Stranger Things Season 2. And it goes off of all the interviews that they've done and stuff where they're like, no, these are 3 movies.
Yes.
And it plays very much into what you and I talked about when we talked about Stranger Things way before, where it was, these are very obviously just movies that they've split into so many parts.
Having a satisfying ending, wanting to know more, that's a way to do it.
Exactly.
Building
a world. Building a world.
Having a lackluster story that ends and you're kind of fucking underwhelmed.
A story dependent upon a serial.
And then thinking maybe there's more after this.
Oh.
Bad.
Well,
bad.
To reference one of our other favorites, Star Wars.
Yes.
You could watch the first Star Wars and totally buy that Tarkin was the evil and that Darth Vader was his dickhead sidekick. And they won their medals, and they defeated the Empire.
That was
they blew up the Death Star. You could end it at A New Hope if you want to.
Yeah.
You didn't need an Empire and everything like that. I mean, granted, it was great that Empire came around. What a great movie.
Yeah.
But you had characters that you were invested in, a world that you were invested in, and that's the thing that I feel like is plaguing a lot of shit these days, where they're so dependent upon... Well, you need to get the whole story, and we're going to give you the rest of the story in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down the road. And I feel that sucks what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Force Awakens ends that way, but is it the knowledge of knowing that 2 more are coming makes it better?
See,
because that's where it's Lord of the Rings, because in this one... There is no indication there are more coming.
Yeah.
It's basically what a lackluster story, but all the things they set up in this world are so cool, I'd be willing to see more.
Yeah.
It's like it's the fact that they focused more on that than the main story. If it was like, what a great story, I need to see more, it was, what a mediocre fucking story. But it looks like they have other things in mind.
They got more story to tell. And that shouldn't be what it is. Every installation, I think, in a series, even if you're planning a series, should be a standalone enough story. Maybe it has an open ending.
Yeah.
They should each tell their own story. Like, I mean, even Empire Strikes Back did that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, you had your big reveal, and then the ending, they take off, and then they're going to go find Han.
Who knows where that story could go from
Who knows where that story could go from there? Yeah, exactly. It's not like well, we kind of told a story and we kind of developed some people.
And there should be a point. That's the thing. With this, I don't know what the point of telling that story was.
Okay.
Whereas like Force Awakens, it was the end. Spoilers. It was the end of Han's story, and it was passing off to these new characters.
Yeah. I gotta disagree with you.
And it was exactly like A New Hope. Am I right?
No. I gotta disagree with you though, dude, on Force Awakens, what you're saying, dude, because I felt like that was very much like, and there's more to come.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But that's like Lord of the Rings.
You did get, yeah.
You know that there's more to this story.
Okay.
But I'm saying the point of the story
was wrapped up within that.
It was
story.
part one, it's done.
Yeah.
Or this was acting like a standalone story, but it was so lackluster.
It was like part 1.5.
And so reliant on, well, you're gonna see more.
Yeah, no, one that I like a lot is I like the Maze Runner series. It's not very good. It's pretty shit.
We talked about it before.
But I really like them. I didn't like the second one as much. It was pretty shit compared to the first one. First one was really cool. I don't know why they're still calling it Maze Runner after the first one. It's just...
Because they're not in a maze anymore.
Yeah, no, they're not in a maze at all in the second one. There's no maze. And whereas like with movies like Back to the Future, again, or The Matrix, again.
Or Back to the Future was not meant to be a trilogy.
No, yeah, but like the Matrix, Star Wars, stuff like that. Like, you're still having wars within the stars. You're still within the Matrix. You know, like, those are dependent upon a premise that the title defines.
Yeah.
Maze Runner 2 Scorched Trials had no fucking maze in it at all. It shouldn't be Maze Runner anymore. But that's another one. Like, you're talking about...
But then all they would have to do is say the Maze Runner Saga Part 2, the Scorched Lands.
Part 2, the Scorched Lands 2.6.
Yeah. The Hunger Games
that's
Part...
That's what I was going
The
for.
Hunger Games Part 4, Part 2, Mockingjay, or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, it's another one that's like, did you enjoy that? Did you like that little taste? We're gonna give you some more.
You'll have to see.
And I feel like that's very like, there's too much faith placed upon that, because it's like, how do you know this was going to be successful enough? You'll have
to see this movie. We're talking about a lot of examples.
I didn't see the movie. And
talking about the differences between them. And yes, I think Force Awakens kind of sits where A Fellowship of the Ring is.
Yeah.
Where Star Wars was a much better representation of, in Back to the Future, and in some of these other ones, Matrix and whatever.
Yeah.
This is a very, very special case of, you didn't care. You told this mundane story that you didn't explain, basically setting up something else that's a different story. Like, it's so odd.
Would you say that she is better at writing books than she is at writing screenplays? Because
I think that she can write a good novel, and have it adapted to a screenplay better than she can write a screenplay.
Well, because I was gonna say, Stephen King writes a lot of the screenplays for his own movies and original shows and stuff like that. Like Haven, he wrote the screenplay for Haven and stuff like that. But he's a much better novel writer than he is a fucking screenwriter.
I'm not a writer, but I will say that it's a whole different beast.
Yeah, it's totally different.
So, based off of this, of course she's a better fucking novel writer than screenwriter. But basically, you're gonna see it or you're not. All I can say is, as a huge Harry Potter fan, I enjoyed some of the fun aspects of it. Being in the know as far as Grindelwald was concerned was cool, but I wondered what this story had to do with anything. Yeah. Because it didn't.
Well, because you're going to find out more as it goes along.
Yeah, but he's done. So I'm just kind of like...
Oh, that was it?
That was it. They caught him. But he obviously is not caught because he's going to have to face fucking... Dumbledore.
So he doesn't face Dumbledore.
In this movie... No. In this movie, he takes him out. But we know that Dumbledore is the man who eventually puts him in jail. And that's where he stays until Voldemort fucking visits him in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, if you're going off of the movies.
Yeah.
So there's more to his story, which is interesting, but I'm saying this story with Scamell, I think is his name, Eddie fucking Redmayne, it was just so like, okay. Because then he just takes
I feel
off.
like we should point out how much you hate Eddie Redmayne, too.
Oh, no. I do hate Eddie Redmayne. But that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, dude, it's funny that they're going to hear it.
I don't know.
We're drinking and we're smoking. We're adults.
Deal with it. We're adults.
We're adults.
We know it's bad for us, and we do it anyway. I really don't want to stay. I really don't want to stick on it too long.
I know, because you were really mad when you talked to me about it that one day, dude. You were really disappointed.
You know if you're gonna see it or not. And
I felt bad.
If you like it, more power to you. You're not wrong, except you are. And I wish I liked it more than I did, but unfortunately, as a standalone movie, which is all I expected from it, since she wrote it as a movie, it is lackluster.
So just from a writing.
Whereas I was more fucking it's writing. The directing is fine.
Yeah, I don't think that's lit.
I don't think you're lit.
I'm lit. I'm on fleek.
I'm lit AF.
I'm woke as fuck.
You ain't woke. So I want to move on swiftly from this.
Yeah, no, I understand your disappointment. That's how I felt about just about every X-Men movie.
Yeah.
Since 2.
Which promo right in the middle. Look forward to our Logan episode.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Logan episode. First time I've ever been excited for a Wolverine movie. Ryan, post Deadpool, is really into the X universe.
Well,
now.
no,
because you really enjoyed Days of Future Past.
We had a Days of Future Past episode, and
I had to eat words on.
And we
Days
had
of
an
Future
Apocalypse
Past.
episode.
Yeah, I had to.
Or did we? We talked about Apocalypse.
I don't think we ever did Apocalypse.
We had to have talked about it.
I think you and I talked about Apocalypse, but I don't think we ever talked about it on the
We
podcast.
had to have.
We have to have.
We had to have. Yeah, fucking. Although I always remember the titles. Maybe we didn't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it again.
I don't either.
Just in case that we did already. But I enjoyed Apocalypse as well. So
yeah, you liked Apocalypse. I did not.
But as far as we're both looking forward to, Logan should be fun.
Logan should be great, dude. It looks so good. I love. It's Wolverine was a character that was fascinating to me when I was a 13-year-old kid because he killed shit and he had claws and he was really like, oh man, I'm so broody. I'm gonna smoke a cigar and fucking drink a beer. And then like I got older and I kept reading X-Men comics and I was like, I don't care anymore, Logan. Jesus Christ, stop being such a pansy. But like we said, we're drinking and we're smoking.
We're adults.
We're adults. If you got one, crack one. Have a good time. We're all just hanging out. I like older Logan that's like had to realize some of the mistakes that he's made in life and not been such a brutal fucking crazy pants, you know, and it's just like, shit, I am the last one, you know? I enjoy that angle a lot. That was part of what I liked about, if I can dip into comics real quick here.
Sure, there's no rules.
There's no rules. We're drinking and smoking.
No wires. There's so many wires.
There's one. We got one.
Okay, there's only one.
There's
Josh,
only one.
They don't know. And they don't even get the inside joke anyway.
No wires. Rick Remender, one of my favorite comic writers. The best work he ever did for Marvel, Uncanny X-Force. He wrote a collection of characters for that team. It was Wolverine, Deadpool, Phantom X, Psylocke, and Archangel. And there were intermittent other members of the team. Deathlock showed up and fucking Nightcrawler, and that was cool. But, he wrote evolved versions of them, like where Wolverine was, kind of regretful of the life that he had led, and just he hated being the fact that he was the kill guy for the team, and just a little bit bitter about his role. And I liked that because it made the struggle with his more feral nature more real, and it was really cool. And I see a bit of that going on in this Logan movie, and I'm very intrigued by it. I read Old Man Logan, which everybody talks about, and they're like, oh, it's heavily inspired by Old Man Logan. It doesn't look anything like Old Man Logan, because this looks like it's well written. Fucking Old Man Logan was a pile of crap. I'm putting it out there. Mark Miller is a terrible fucking writer. He was the tip of the spear.
Take that, Mark Miller.
Take that, Mark Miller.
Oh, it burns.
He's gonna fucking remember that guy in
California
fucking singed him.
Josh.
What? No one cares.
Stop.
But
Now I have to edit that out.
Oh God, don't be that guy. Are you really looking at the time for when I said
California?
I'm saying it again.
California.
Ryan, look at me. Look at me. There's like 3.
California. I know. Most of them are in Kansas.
Yeah, it's weird. You know that
California
had to change its name to
California
from Victor because there's a Victor, Colorado, and the post office used to fuck it up all the time.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I just said the other name. No, Mark Miller was like the tip of the spear for one of the worst eras of comic books, dude. He turned Captain America into some right-wing nut job that was like murdering people all the time. And like, he was terrible. He's a terrible fucking writer. I hate Mark Miller so much. And the visuals are great because it's drawn by Jeremy McNiven, who's a great artist. I don't want to do this. Dude, this is
You wanted to go into this.
There's a whole other thing, but like Old Man Logan disappointed me so much because it was ridiculous. You goddamn waste prison.
I know.
It was ridiculous. It was all the worst parts of Wolverine. It was like what a 13-year-old thinks is a mature adult story. It was ridiculous. It was so fucking
So what
stupid.
you're saying is you hope this isn't like that.
Exactly.
But you look forward to what it could be.
I look forward to what it could be.
And we will talk about it.
We will talk about it more when it comes out.
2 fucking weeks time.
In 2 weeks.
You realize.
Yeah. No, it's right around the corner.
March 3rd, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought... No, that's Mass Effect. That's the 21st.
No, it's 21st.
Yeah. Which I'm
Yeah,
looking forward
Logan
to
is
as well.
Logan is the 3rd,
Yeah.
as well as The Legend of Zelda.
Oh!
Breath of the Wild. So
We got so much to do.
so busy.
So busy. But no, Logan's gonna be sweet. I'm really excited
I hope
for
so.
that movie.
I hope so.
I don't get it. I don't get excited for the Fox.
Days of Future
stuff.
Past
Great movie.
and Days of Future Past and I gave Apocalypse a chance is because, I'm like, Days of Future Past was great. I'm going to see what they can do with this one.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know who this fucking guy is. I don't know what the source material is. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm glad you're excited, but reserve.
I'm gonna. It's just. I'm so excited because it looks so interesting. Trevor Fitzroy's in it. Mr. Sinister is gonna be in it. One of my favorite villains. Mr. Sinister's fantastic. Fitzroy, I don't give a shit about him. But no, Essex is gonna be in it, so I'm super excited. Caliban's gonna be in it. Real Caliban, not fucking X-Men Apocalypse Caliban. Logan's gonna be cool.
Yeah, look forward to that. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For now, let's move on from...
Well, I could talk about The Little Prince and how disappointed I was in that.
if you want to.
Well, you talked about yours. I mean, we're hitting you with the disappointments first.
Okay.
Get to the good stuff.
Okay, so after... No. So after this, do we want to go into the co-disappointment?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm saying we're going to hit the disappointments first, and then we're going to get into the good shit.
Enough. Go into The Little Prince.
Yeah.
If you don't know, that is a Netflix exclusive.
There was a Netflix exclusive.
Animated movie starring Jeff Bridges and other people.
I think Anna Kendrick.
I don't know.
I can't remember who did the voice of the mom.
Jeff Bridges was the main.
Jeff Bridges
villain.
was the big title.
Yeah.
But from an animation perspective, very, very, very cool. I don't know if it was claymated or CGI. Some of the bits that are told from the
I think
Prince's
like
perspective.
Lego Movie, it was meant to look like a brick film.
Yeah.
Or meant to look claymated,
Yeah.
but with CGI.
I think that as well. Those parts are so amazing because there's like this like paper mache feel to it, like almost carved out of wood, really cool. Look at it. It's very cool. But the problem is it's an independent animated story. And unfortunately, they all tell the same fucking story. Creativity is great, and everything else sucks, and it's mundane and boring.
That's the thing, is a lot of animated movies are best when they're made for kids to entertain them.
But this is clearly
but also
for
have
adults.
an adult fucking thing.
Well, and
whereas this looked like it was just for adults.
And that was what I was going to get into. Whereas Zootopia had a very, very great story about the dangers of racism and depression and stuff like that.
Drug use.
Drug use and so much stuff that like only adults are going to get, and kids are going to go, why are they so mean to the fox?
Exactly. But they're still going to like it because it's entertaining and funny.
But the bunny does funny things. Yeah. You know, she's stomping around the little mouse town and stuff.
Oh, you bunnies.
Oh, you bunnies. In the same year that movie came out, this came out. And I was just like, this is a tried and true artist story, and it's kind of been done to death, guys. It's cliche. That's the problem. It's just, you know, be a little bit more subtle. Welcome the children into your story. You know, like, it's just, I don't know. I think about my nephews and stuff like that, where I'm just like, they're going to be bored to hell with this. The beginning is very boring. They're not going to get excited. And that was what I was approaching it as a guy who has little kids in his life and stuff like that. I was just like, there's no fucking way these kids are going to get into this. Like, you know, I did a bit, I think, on one of the podcasts where I talked about Paddington Bear, the movie. Where I was like, kids are going to love this fucking movie. I loved this movie. This is a great family movie. It's fun. It's not stupid. And it's not so adult that they're going to get bored. That, you know, the kids are going to get bored. No, this Little Prince is made for adults, and that's its major
and I
drawback.
knew when I first saw it.
Yeah,
I was interested because those are always, you know, I like to think, I'm into that indie shit.
Yeah,
and I'm like, Jeff Bridges, but I knew,
fucking monster.
When I looked at it, I'm like, this is gonna be a boring movie for adults.
Yeah. And that's what sucks, dude. Is it's just because I was hoping for like a Toy Story or something, you know, because it looked like it could have that kind of aspect, or another one that I liked that kind of had the same storyline, but was obviously for kids as well. It was a movie called Book of Life, where it was another one that looked like it was done with puppets, but they're all CGI and stuff like that. It was really cool. Book of Life is a really cool movie, but this just like it missed the mark, dude. It's a good storyline. It's just that everyone's done it before about being creative and living your imagination and doing all that kind of cool stuff.
Was it feature length? Was it an hour and a half long?
It was about an hour and a half.
So a gazillion other short animated films have probably done it better.
Much better. Much better, dude. And that was a problem, dude. It's just, I don't know. Maybe somebody's going to be into it. I know if you got kids, they probably won't enjoy it.
Glowing recommendation.
Top tier. So do you want to get into the last of the disappointments, man?
All right, yeah.
The one that made us both angry?
Now that those are out of the way, we're going to start talking about the big releases everybody's heard of. Well, you know, Fantastic Beasts, I'm sure, but that we've both seen.
Yeah.
And we will start, since we're on Disappointment Street, with Assassin's Creed.
Disappointment Street on the off the corner of Sadness Avenue.
Yes. Assassin's Creed.
What a fucking piece of shit that movie was.
Now, Josh, we talked at the beginning of the podcast about how strapped for time we are.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot going on in our lives, and
we had a free day.
And you know what we did? We had a Saturday where we just we had the whole day to do whatever we had to do.
And I didn't have to work that day.
No, neither of us did. Nobody did. No, maybe somebody did. But we saw 2 movies that day. I will say that, so there is going to be something after this.
Yes, we saw 2 movies that day in one day.
But
it was great.
We were pumped.
That was great, seeing 2 movies in one day.
Yes.
The quality of the movies is different.
We were pumped up, and we were like, let's go see Assassin's Creed. It's a video game movie. It's not going to be good.
No.
We knew that going in.
Yeah.
But it was going to be fun and dumb, right?
It was neither of those. It was one of those things.
No. It was fucking terrible.
It was awful.
And I'm going to start, Josh. Just let me start because
You've got the most experience with Assassin's Creed.
I don't even want to talk about that. It has nothing to do with any of the games at all. It has nothing to do. It has the base story.
Yeah, it has the general idea.
And the boringest part of the general idea is the main focus.
The main focus, yeah. Nobody gives a fuck.
What I'm going to say is this is one of the worst movies I've ever fucking seen.
It's definitely top 5.
It's one of the worst movies fucking
Definitely.
ever. I was
what a piece of
terribly bored. I was incredibly upset, incredibly disappointed, and...
Dude, at one point you were fucking with your phone.
I in the movie theater, which I never do. You know, I'll talk all day. I was trying to listen to a conversation of somebody in the crowd.
There were two people having a lengthy conversation in the theater, and we were both more interested in what they were talking about than we were at all within the movie. I was doing like monster arms with my fucking chair. Did you see me?
Yeah,
Sitting there going like, with the arms, raising them and lowering them.
It was, as two people who enjoy a nice, good, boring film, which the next film we saw that day, for a lot of people would be a boring movie.
Especially the 9-year-old.
Especially the 9-year-old in the movie theater.
That poor
we were not impressed with.
That poor fucking kid, dude. Fuck those parents.
Yeah. During Assassin's Creed, antics in the crowd were fun. Later on, it was not so fun. But basically, it starts
with a compelling beginning.
Yeah.
But the problem is they dedicate way too much time to those big sweeping shots that are in the video games of the eagle going over to set the setting, I guess.
Yeah, we watch an eagle or the hawk or whatever the fuck.
It is okay. I need to point out. Yeah, anybody who loves a bird is gonna love those parts. I need to point out how dark this fucking movie is. I thought it was because of the theater.
Not totally dark.
No, photographically.
Basically,
cinematically. You can't see what's going on
when you watch anything that's projected. There's a bit of that undersaturated dark look. This was underexposed the whole way through.
I couldn't see what was going on throughout the fucking movie.
Like imagine a Zack Snyder movie times 2.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It goes beyond muted colors.
It was terrible.
And grainy shit.
It was hard to watch.
It was very hard to watch, dude. The action sequences, I've never been more bored watching a chase.
Do you want to see 1,000 cuts?
Yeah, exactly.
You know the new trend, like we make fun of people who are like going for it. And it's like, oh, this big one-shot, uncut scene. Like, we're trying to impress you.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see that.
Dude, I feel like a chase that's purely parkour calls for that.
Yeah, no. 3 cuts to watch a guy jump over a wall.
Yeah. Well, dude, the 11 cuts of Liam Neeson jumping a fence and taking 3. That's what you're getting in Assassin's Creed nonstop. Every kid, Michael Fassbender, who is one of my favorite actors these days.
Very, very good actor.
So
you haven't seen Steve Jobs? That was really good.
I need to see Steve Jobs, dude. I really
don't watch Jobs, by the way.
Yeah, with Ashton Kutcher, you're just gonna watch him walk around like Jesus
while
with
people
the
admire him.
Yeah, it's fucking awful. I need to see Steve Jobs,
but Steve Jobs.
I feel like that movie suffered because Jobs came out first.
It did.
But no, Michael Fassbender, great fucking actor. I've loved him in everything I've seen him in. He was the only thing I liked about Prometheus.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's awful in this fucking movie. And it's not his fault. The script is awful. The dialogue is pointless. And then him in the past
Basically, if you've played the game, if there was any part where you were mashing A to try to get through shit, that was this whole movie. They thought the best part of the Assassin's Creed
was
lore
the sci-fi
was
element.
the animus and the modern day shit that nobody cared about.
Yeah, you get a lot of scenes of Michael Fassbender hooked to a giant arm punching the air.
Basically,
it's the worst.
No character development was done on the person who was in the past.
Yeah.
It was all done on Fassbender present day, and he was a vessel into action without establishing the character, which, let's just face the facts, there's a reason there's not the Desmond collection.
Exactly.
It's the Ezio collection, because Ezio is the character everybody remembers, not fucking Desmond. But this movie was under the assumption that everybody loved the guy
Desmond.
in the present day.
Yeah. Nobody
and all
likes
the
that
boring
guy.
bullshit. But guess what? They're not even being campy and dumb. They're being fucking boring and talking about nothing.
Well, and that's the thing
because we don't know who the good or the bad guys are until the very end, where all of a sudden now we're supposed to care, even though we've done no characters.
Jeremy Irons is like Professor Bad Guy. Mm-hmm. And like, he's the bad guy the whole time, but you're not sure what his motivations are. And they have to get that thing.
His motivations were, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, he's like, we have to beat the other guys who apparently don't exist
anymore. They're all in this place.
Yeah, they're all locked up in this jail that they're all fucking putting them in the machine for. And
then they just let them out.
All I can
because
say...
they ditch, and then they go, oh, take care of this, security guards.
Yeah,
and then the security guards were like, we don't get paid enough for this shit.
That was the funniest part of that action bit, was like they're stabbing each other with nightsticks. Blunt objects, and they're just like, haha. They're doing like fucking parries and riposts and stab
they're riposting
moves.
with a nightstick. It was terrible. It was terrible.
It was awful. That's all I can remember, is that Michael Fassbender was hungry for half of the movie.
There was one joke. They broke the tension with the joke.
That was a good joke.
Yeah. There was one joke, though.
There was one joke. It's the guy sits down to eat, and he's like, hey, how are you doing? I recommend the steak.
Yeah.
And then the girl comes up and says,
you can order whatever you want, but I recommend the steak.
Yeah, you can order whatever you want, but I recommend the steak. And then the girl comes up and is like, how are you doing today? And he's like, pretty good. And she's just like, we have an open kitchen. We have an open menu, but I recommend the steak. And then he looks at him and kind of winks. And I was like, oh, the movie's going to start now.
Yeah, we get it.
And then nothing happens after that.
And then he orders the chicken.
Yeah,
by the way.
Because he's a badass. And he doesn't go by the rules.
He threw the rule book out.
Yeah. He only lives by one rule, Ryan. And that's there's no rules.
It's that there are no rules. Except for his own rules, of which there's only one.
And
there's no rules. It's very confusing.
No, it's funny because everybody harped on how shitty Warcraft was. And I feel like this
movie... And as
movie,
you know, episode one was Warcraft.
We talked about Warcraft.
And I almost want to talk about it a little bit more. I fucking genuinely like Warcraft.
You love Warcraft. I loved Warcraft because it goes that campy, dumb, is a video game movie route. And it doesn't pull any punches. I don't think it even asks you to take it as seriously as like a Lord of the Rings or a Harry Potter. Just going off, or a Star Wars based on that fantasy epic type
even
of
aesthetic was just like, this is colorful and dumb. This was just like, this is so serious.
Oh yeah, it's super serious. It's Man of Steel on even more heroin. It puts you straight to sleep. It is the most boring fucking movie I've ever seen. Fuck that movie, dude.
It's terrible.
This is in a year where I saw SLC Punk 2.
Yeah.
And that was a pile of shit.
Yeah.
And I think I actually hated Assassin's Creed more At least I was able to laugh at how bad SLC Punk was.
I was mad. After we had first seen it, we were kind of laughing at like, wow, what a bad movie. But the thing is,
The longer I thought
it
about
wasn't bad like that. It was just what a waste of our time.
Yeah,
Piece
we
of
were
crap.
very
There's
angry.
nothing stand out even bad to talk about.
I can't even, dude. You know what's funny, dude? Is I knew how bad a time we were in for because of the trailers.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The trailers were so fucking awful for that.
And we were at the movie theater in our general area.
That
Fucking that is
Nobody cares
notorious for showing the most
30
trailers.
minutes of trailers every time. 30 minutes of it's like 20 minutes of trailers
and then Coke, and then their own advertising,
Yeah.
and it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Don't forget to
It's
buckle your seatbelt.
it's not a big chain. It's
No.
it's a smaller chain.
Yeah. Great picture quality, great sound,
Yes.
terrible experience every time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, God, dude. Fuck that movie, man.
It was terrible. I
And this is coming from two dudes that went, like we said at the beginning of this,
knowing it was going to be bad,
knowing it was a video game movie and knowing it was going to be bad.
but trying to have a good time. So we're not being fucking stiffs here.
Yeah.
It just was bad. It didn't entertain.
No, it did not, dude. It put me to. I started going to sleep at one point. Dude.
No,
and that's why I started fucking.
The
with
interesting
arms.
parts were so cut and weirdly edited and put into 5-minute chunks.
None
and
of the story cohesed, man.
Kept cutting back to the new dope ass animus that didn't make sense, and it was terrible. So I want to move swiftly on.
Yeah, dude. Let's get on to the next one we saw that day because we did end it on a good note.
Yes.
For 2-movie day, although a very heavy note.
Yes.
There was some serious weight to the next one, which was Fences.
Yes,
What
Fences.
a great fucking movie.
Amazing movie.
Another like we said, for some, this will bore them to tears. But a great story of a guy that's
It's
just
a
never
character.
satisfied.
It's a character piece.
It's a very character piece based on the play.
based on
of
a
the
play.
same
It's a
name.
play adaptation. And
I watched. If you give me a 2nd here, I saw both versions. I watched both on YouTube. I watched the James Earl Jones version of Fences and the Denzel Washington version of the play as well. And two different takes on the character. And I feel like in the movie, Denzel tried to find a balance between the James Earl Jones presence and his in the movie. Because in his version of the play, he's much more sarcastic and everything's a little bit less serious. It's much more comedic. And in James Earl Jones, he is just straight bitter. He is an asshole from the word go. Like, you get his character right off the bat. But yeah, it takes place in like 3, maybe 4 locations.
that's what I was gonna say. It's the main set, which is
The house.
the house, the backyard.
The backyard. The backyard is the main place.
It starts with basically showing his life and what he does for a living, and then it's basically his home life from there on out.
Yeah. And it's a very great exploration of his character, dude.
Yes.
It's one of those ones where you're on board with the guy. You're just like, oh man, this guy's cool and he's funny. And then as the movie goes on, you become more and more disillusioned with his character.
Yeah, you feel for him. It goes this route, and it works. I think for every viewer, despite how you feel about the character, because it explores the more comedic aspects in his life and in his easygoing nature, and then it dips into the drama.
Yeah.
And either you feel for him or you despise him, and I think it works either way.
That's interesting. I never thought about it because I fucking hated him by the end of the movie. I thought he was a pile of shit.
And so did I. But I feel like
the fallibility is really good.
Here's what I mean by that. Either you still thought he was a likable dude despite being a piece of shit, which I guess is a little bit of a spoiler. I don't know, but either you liked him or you didn't like him, and it worked either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's no arguing the events that went on.
Yeah.
But either you still felt for the character, or you still liked him, or you hated him.
Yeah.
It worked.
Viola Davis got nominated for that, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And she's won Golden Globes and SAGs and stuff like that. The Oscars are still coming up.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
Award shows. Yay. Viola Davis was fantastic. Nobody in that movie was bad. No. I really thought that his brother, the guy who got fucked up in the war, I really was like, I think he's going to be the most annoying character in the movie. And he's not. He's actually very endearing. And I really, really liked his brother a whole bunch. I liked his brother. I liked his son. His oldest son. His oldest son was great. And I liked... and then, like, there's a part in the movie where they kind of try to mirror him and Denzel. That was great. His younger son is great. And I love the little girl, too. I love the daughter. Dude, it's hard to talk about that movie without spoiling so much. Dude, because it's so dependent. Dude, it's just... I don't know. It's
that character's ride is the whole movie.
Yeah. And it's
that's
hard.
why the marketing was like conversations.
Yeah, it was mostly just him in the backyard yelling at the kid.
Yeah.
Which was a great scene. I really liked that scene because it was and that was the thing, was like, I respected him as a parent, but not as a person.
Yeah.
You know, but then like...
But even as a parent, he fell back into what he tells a very heavy story to his oldest son.
He tells two very heavy stories. One to his son, one to his friend.
Yeah, both of which involve his son.
Yes.
His oldest son. But one was a parenting thing, and one was
my life.
His experiences with his father.
Yeah. God, what a fucking movie, dude. So good. I wish I'd seen the actual... I kind of want to wish that I'd gone and seen the actual play.
Yeah, sure.
But no, dude. It's just, everybody needs to see Fences.
Yeah, of course. And what I mean about it works whether you like him or not is like it ends on a ends on a good note. It ends on like whatever you thought about the guy. Like you have to respect him and this and this and that.
I wish that,
but it leaves you with enough characters that he's interacted with throughout the story who are all there at the end.
Oh yeah,
that you're kind of like, no matter what, you like where it went.
Yeah, it was a very satisfying.
Because for me, I was just like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. About halfway through the movie, I was like, this guy sucks. Fuck him. And that's where I feel like maybe getting a bit more of the youngest son's story would have been a little bit more beneficial, because he comes and goes for most of the movie, and then the end is all about him. The very end is all about him. Yeah. And I wish that we had gotten a little bit more of him, so that maybe we got a more balanced view. But man, dude, Denzel Washington's first directorial.
Yeah.
And fucking superb job.
And that's true. And that comes down to the acting for sure. Because as far as the filmmaking, it's locked shots. It's one takes. There's some continuity issues, which super petty, but I'm going to throw them out there anyway. People will be drinking something that will then be filled more later.
Yeah. That bottle of whiskey never seems to go down.
And it's like, all right, so you guys did 2 or 3 takes of this, and this part was a little bit better, so you decided to splice them together. That happens. It's filmmaking.
Whatever, dude.
But when your whole style is more stage play.
Yeah.
It was somewhat noticeable. And I know they know that, and they did it anyway because the performances were bad.
Well, and like you said, it's a nitpick.
Yeah, but fucking...
No real music either in the movie.
No.
Just purely narrative.
No, it's him humming and singing.
Yeah, him and singing that song they made up about the dog.
Yeah.
But like, man, purely narrative driven, dude. It was really, really cool. I really liked it.
It was just a character piece.
I will say, if you watch it, maybe have a comedy lined up afterwards to see it, dude. Because it leaves you wrung out.
Yeah.
It'll drain you.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, and like I said, no matter where you fall on how the character affected you, you have two side characters that basically you can sympathize with at the ends.
I feel like one is much more sympathetic than
yes. Yeah. But it was basically one. It was I know.
It's hard to do it, right?
Yeah, it's one that didn't let bitterness affect him, and then it's another one that fucking
rose above.
That took all the good and rose above.
Yeah.
The
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a great character. Basically, it's a great lots of good characters, but it's basically two character thing.
Yeah.
It's the main character and Viola Davis, right?
Yeah.
And fucking that story.
Yeah.
And then there's side characters that are very entwined.
That come and go, and you get a view as to what made him.
And and you see how they were affected by those two main characters,
exactly.
And that's it. And it's just 3 sets. It's 2 hours long, and then it's over.
Yeah. It says, if I could touch back on the poor 9-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Man. It's usually me that flips out in the theater.
Yes. You're known to just nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
And I'm known to just complain.
You suck it up. Yeah. But you complain afterwards.
Yeah, about how much I hate going to the movie theater.
Yeah.
But I just suck it up, and I don't care. For the first time ever.
Yeah.
I had to talk to somebody during a movie.
Yeah. And it's not the kid's fault.
No,
the poor kid shouldn't have been taken to the fucking movie.
No. Basically, I always keep saying rated R, but it wasn't rated R. It's PG-13. But at any rate, it's a fucking boring ass fucking.
It's 2.5 hours long.
Play adaptation movie about nothing.
Yeah,
because it's
people talking in rooms.
Yeah, that's it. And locations.
Yeah,
and. A grandma and grandpa decided to bring their grandchild to the movie. No big deal. The kid was actually pretty well behaved. But,
for the most movie.
But we have our local Cinemark was just upgraded with these luxury lounger reserved seating.
Yeah, you can recline in them.
And they're terribly uncomfortable seats that recline.
Not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan at all.
But they
recline, and they have a button that you can recline the seats. Well, the kid was just like, I'm bored as shit. I'm going to
play with the recliner.
I'm going to recline the seat back and forth.
Home.
And back and forth. And back and forth.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They're fucking have huge, terrible loud motors in them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
Dude, it was going on for about 5 minutes.
And I don't blame the kid.
Over and over and over
again. But how
again.
they could be like, hey, shut the fuck up. We're trying to watch the movie.
Yeah.
I get that they zone it out. I get that they zone it out.
Yeah.
But I was just like, excuse me.
Yeah, he leans over and he's like, excuse me, could you stop? And it wasn't for the kid, it was for the fucking parents, dude. What? Oh, grandparents. Why the fuck did you bring that kid? Like, in a movie theater where there are plenty of good movies
They were
going
normal,
on.
obnoxious moviegoers anyway, because they were talking back and forth to each other.
They sucked anyway.
But,
why is he playing baseball? Did he used to play baseball? That's in the fucking movie.
But
they just said
that shit, over time, I can zone out.
Yeah.
But that fucking kid...
Yeah.
Doing that shit, and I'm not even mad at the kid.
No.
I don't blame you. This movie sucks for you.
Oh yeah, you're having the worst time ever. Nobody's funny. Nobody farted. Nothing exploded. There's no bright colors.
No animation.
No animation. There's nothing fun. You know, I mean, it's if you go to see,
it's completely adult themed.
Yeah, it's very adult.
It's PG-13. They did not need to make it PG-13.
No, that could have been an R.
Yeah.
That could have been an R.
No 14-year-old kid.
I mean,
is
it would have
gonna
been like a soft R, but like...
It would have made the same amount of money.
It would have made the same exact amount of money.
No fucking 14-year-old kid and his friends is going to go see Fences.
No. Unless you're a movie buff.
And not only that, I just kind of like, well, there we go. I guess you can use
Or a theater buff.
the N word a lot and be PG-13.
Yeah, right, dude? I mean, everybody's just, in this and that.
Because it is what it is. It's a black family.
They're a black family,
Yeah.
a black, in a black suburb. Yeah.
But that's why I thought it was rated R, because I'm like, there's some language.
I thought it was rated R.
There's some
blowing
language,
you told me right now that it was PG-13. I thought it was rated R this whole time. Great fucking flick, though, dude.
But very good. Yeah, we're way off track. Fences, go see it. It's a character piece, play adaptation.
If you've seen the play, like the play, check out the movie. Denzel Washington deserves some fucking views for his first directorial debut.
Yeah.
For his directorial debut. Really good movie. It's got tons of accolades. People are talking about how great it is. Viola Davis deserves every nomination.
Yeah, I think he's getting. I think Denzel's getting passed up for
Director.
No, Denzel. Well, yes, but he's getting passed up for Ryan Gosling.
For La La Land?
For La La Land, he's getting passed up as best actor. But Viola Davis is just fucking killing it. And she deserves it. She was the best part.
She was fantastic in the movie. She has a tirade that she goes on.
It's a single shot.
It's a
single.
It's
they
just
basically
all
just
on her.
And who knows how many times they did that? If they did that more than once, could have fooled me.
Yeah, right. Dude, she sells it so well, dude. She has a
amazing scene. Basically, Anne Hathaway, Les Miserables.
Yes.
Very, very comparable.
Very
to that.
comparable. Yeah. Good. That's good.
Whereas that single scene, emotional.
Yeah, dude. No, she hits you right in the fucking heart, dude.
Yeah.
Like it. You feel her anger and her rage and her sadness. Like, dude, the heartbreak is real, dude. For real in that part. Dude.
And she pulls together the ending. Because the ending didn't work for me until she did it again.
Until she did her bit.
She did it again.
Yeah. No, dude. She ties that thing together.
And then the ending, and then there's another character shows up again and just sells all of it together.
Dude, that was such a beautiful part, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, see, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, it could have been real bad.
Yep.
But it was really, really heartwarming and really touching, dude. Dude.
So it's a hard movie to talk about, and it's hard for us because it's basically completely story driven. So we're trying not to.
We don't want to spoil
it,
anything.
but
it's so good, though. And like we saw that the same day we saw Assassin's Creed.
Oh god, and it was such a relief, but also like what a way to end your night. And it was New Year's. It was New Year's Eve.
It was New Year's.
It was New Year's Eve. We got out of there at like 9 o'clock. Came and watched Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, featuring fucking Ryan Seacrest and Jenny McCarthy.
Fucking hate her so much, dude. Yeah, dude, that was a good one.